You can give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High God by way of Yahushua Mashiach, our Master and King. And we will start at the 5th chapter of John and the 39th verse. Do what? That ain't me, man.
Oh, that's you.
You tripping, man. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I received not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. And you know, again, is sit back and consider something. I want you to go to Deuteronomy chapter 6. Man, ain't nothing coming on there. That's you, man. You bugging. 6 and 1.
They ain't gonna try. Sucking up juice. I know.
He said, now these are the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which Yahuwah your Elohim command to teach you, that you might do them in the land whither you go to possess it. That thou might fear Yahuwah thy Elohim, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yasharal, observe to do it, that it might be well with thee, that thou might increase mightily, as Yahuwah Elohim of thy fathers have promised thee, in the land that flow with milk and honey. Hear, O Yasharal, the word Yahuwah our Elohim is one, Yahuwah. Thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. Let's go back to Jeremiah 32 real fast. He say these words that he commanded you, which is all his statutes and all his judgment, he say they ought to be in your heart. 32 and 10. 32 and 10 of the book of Jeremiah. 32 and 10. Sit back and look at what he says. And I subscribed the evidence and sealed it, and took witnesses and weighed him the money and the balances. So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and custom, and that which was open. So now we need to sit back and look at, he said he took the evidence of the purchase. Let's go all the way to Exodus chapter 15, and let's look at what was the purchase. He said, I took evidence of the purchase. I took the evidence of the purchase. He said, then I sealed it. He said, that which, he said, according to the law and the custom, that which is sealed, and that which was open. Exodus chapter 15 and about verse 13. He say, thou, make it 11. Who is like unto thee, O Yahuwah, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in Kadesh, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou stretch out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy Kadesh habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestina. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold on them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. They shall be as still as a stone till thy people pass over, O Yahuwah, till thy people pass over, which thou hast purchased. I'm asking y'all a question. Why do you think it say that the people of Canaan would melt away? Who remember why the people of Canaan would melt away? You remember why the people of Canaan would melt away?
For when they in the land, so the Lord had to get them out of the land, right?
Yeah, but in this instance, why would the people of Canaan? It's something that we done looked at before. Both of y'all ain't said nothing wrong. That's the people who were in the land at the time. Let's look at Zechariah 14. You just hold this Exodus 15. Let's look at Zechariah 14 real fast. Remember, he's saying the people going to be still as stone to the people which you have purchased have passed over. That means for allowing the people to get in the land. But it's just something where he said the people of Canaan would melt away. Zechariah 14 and 1. We come right back to something in Exodus 15. It says, behold, the day of Yahuwah come, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women's ravished. Half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahuwah go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem, on the east, and on the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. Now, when he said he stood up to fight for them in the day of battle, what day of battle is he referring to? You brothers got an idea? Don't you realize he stood up to fight for us in the day of battle when he stood up to fight for us against Pharaoh? Because remember now, this battle that he's talking about is in order for his people to reclaim the land that he promised to them. You know what I'm saying? We coming up out of Mizraim, coming out of Egypt to be able to obtain the land that he promised to us. But why we came here was for this verse right here. Verse 12. Make it 11 though. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague whereof Yahuwah will smite the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away, while they stand upon their feet. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now he talking about the people of Canaan would melt away. That's the same thing, isn't it? So we know what, because we know what a Mashiach coming back with. What he coming back with? He coming with a sword and what else? If they melting away, that means they getting burned. Remember, he coming back to plead with all flesh with fire and his sword. You understand what I'm telling you? So now he's sitting back. Now why would these people hold this right here? Hold your Exodus 15. Hello, and look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 1. For sure. Make it 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Again, when he talking about all these people Canaan melting away, these are the people that were going to trouble you. The reason why we looking at this is he talking about he sealed the evidence of the purchase. Well, when you look at the purchase, there's something that went down with that. Make it verse 4 though. He says, so that we ourselves glory in you, the synagogues of Elohim, for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that ye endure, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of Elohim, that you may be counted worthy of the kingdom of Elohim, for which ye also suffer. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Elohim to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Master Yahusha shall be revealed from Shamahim with his mighty Malachim, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Elohim, and obey not the gospel of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Master, from the glory of his power. Now, obviously, these people who getting melted away and all this stuff he's saying, he say to do this here for the people that he has purchased. Now, when we look at it, we'll go back to Exodus 15 in a minute. When he say the people that it is purchased, what is that referring to? He say to the people that you have purchased is passed over, O Yah. To the people that you have purchased have passed over. How did he purchase them in that instance?
With the lamb's blood.
With the lamb's blood. So then you know he come back later and he does what? He uses a Mashiach. Look at John chapter 1. John chapter 1, I'll say about verse 26. It says, John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there stand one among you whom you know not. He it is who coming after me is preferred before me, whose shoe latchet I'm not worthy to unloose. These things were done in Beth-barah beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. The next day John seeth Yahusha coming unto him, and saith, Behold, the Lamb of Elohim, which take away the sin of the world. What did he say in John chapter 8 about sin? What? He that commits sin is deserving of sin, right? so that you would be in bondage. When we turn around and you look at it, he came to take away the sin of the world when we were in Mizraim, when we were in Egypt, because we look at it in the Greek form, the word Egypt meaning bondage. We were in that captivity, wasn't it? With heavy burdens, groaning out. So he came to take away the sin of the world, or take away the bondage of the world, when we turn around and look at what we were doing in Egypt. This is the people whom you have purchased. Come back to Exodus chapter 15. So we look at, hold on, let me take my time with it. This stuff goes circling through my brain. So we come back to Exodus 15. You already know that there's no one like unto a Mashiach, because he done did signs and wonders. We done looked at that before. And you see how he said in verse 13 that thou in thy mercy have led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. You've guided them into the strength of your set apart dwelling place. Into your set apart dwelling place. Then he's turned around and said, fear and dread the people be still, to the people who you have purchased and passed over. I didn't want you to look at something in Exodus chapter 12. And then I think it's Job 24, I believe, that I want. I just want you to look at something in the 12th chapter of Exodus. All I want you to look at is right here in Exodus chapter 12 and verse 7. He said, they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein ye shall eat it. They shall eat the flesh in that night, and roast with fire, and unleavened bread with bitter herbs. They shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sod at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, with the purtenance thereof. And you shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remain of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. And thus you shall eat it with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hands, and you shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Passover. So knowing, and something come to my mind with that too, so just hold on. He told him to put the blood on the doorpost, right? Now we're not dealing with the similitude of this to a Mashiach. So basically the blood is the evidence of the purchase upon your household, isn't it? If you don't have the blood of this lamb on this house, I mean this house has not been purchased, has it? That makes sense. That makes sense. Come over here to Job 24, I think I want. Hello, who the last two people just called? How you doing, Shalom? Somebody else just called. I don't know who that was. You might not say nothing. What's going on with you, boy? You gonna lift you some weight? You gonna lift you some weights today, man? That. When you gonna get around here with us, man, get back up in there, man. Job, I said when you gonna get back in there with us. Job 11 is what I want. We'll look at Job 24 and 16, but come over here to Job 11 and 11. I said when you gonna get back in there with us, man? We waiting to kill you now. Job 11 and 11. For he know vain men, he see wickedness, will he not then consider it? For vain men would be wise, though man be born like a wild ass's coat. If listen to what he tell you now. If thou wilt prepare thine heart and stretch out thy hands towards him. Listen to what he say. If you will prepare your heart and do what? I'm going to read that again. See if anybody catch it. If thou wilt prepare thine heart and stretch out thy hands towards him. What that mean to you? I said I wasn't going to do it, but what that mean to you? If you will prepare your heart and stretch out your hands to him.
Humble yourself.
That too. Not a bad answer. Any of you gentlemen got something to do with that? Matter of fact, something come to my head. But just hold on. Any of y'all think of something about that? About preparing your heart and stretching out your arm? Remember, this is all dealing with the evidence of the purchase and what we read in Deuteronomy chapter 6 about laying up this man's words in your heart. Because that's the only way that's going to sit back and show the evidence of the purchase. Well, the sealing. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Because I ain't trying to be too long this evening. Troy, or Brother Sean, or Pale, or Johnny, that means something to y'all. If you will prepare your heart to him, will you stretch out your hands to him? I'm going to read it. And you're right. Same thing he said. That humility is correct. But it's something I'm looking at right. I'm going to read it one more time before we do it. He said, if thou wilt prepare thy heart and stretch out thy hands towards him. So I want y'all to come over here. I believe it's 2 Timothy chapter 1 or chapter 2. Thank y'all. 1 Timothy chapter 1 is what I want. I mean, 1 Timothy chapter 2. My apologies. Verse 5 is where we begin. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 5. Y'all just bear with me. Just bear with me. Troy, you liking that job today, man? What this is, day 3, ain't it? You liking that job? Yeah, praise y'all. We working on something, man. I'm going to tell you about it when I get it to him. He say, for there is one Elohim and one mediator between Elohim and man, the man Yahushua HaMashiach, who gave himself a ransom for all to be testified in due time. As you've seen, that ransom, you know what a ransom is, right? You know what I'm talking about? That's something to be able to buy back something. So something that's been purchased. You know, he said that in the 20th chapter of Matthew, that he came to give his life as a ransom for many. He said, whereunto I am ordained a preacher and an apostle. I speak the truth in the Mashiach and lie not, a teacher of the Gentiles in faith and verity. I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up Kadesh hands without wrath and doubting. What you think? Didn't Job 11 and 13 just say, if you will prepare your heart and stretch out your hands to him? Ain't that what it just said? Now you see that Paul say, I would pray that every man set apart hands without wrath and doubting. So what can this mean? I want you all to come and look at Matthew, my apologies, 6 and 33. We good in 1 Timothy. We still holding, we ain't holding nothing. You can hold Jeremiah 32 on general principle, though. 32 and 11. We holding Job 11 and 13. My apologies, that's what it was. Matthew 6 and 33, right? He say, but seek ye first the kingdom of Elohim and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Do y'all remember what it said about Ezra, what he put in his heart to do? You know what Ezra said he put in his heart to do? And do his law and his teaching. But he said he had prepared his heart to do what? To seek after y'all, right? See, you know where we messing a lot of people up is? You ain't really got it in your heart to seek after y'all. See, when it's in your heart to seek after y'all, you know what you're going to seek after? What you going to seek after?
Pleasing him.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to seek to please him. You know what I'm saying? You're going to seek the things that's appealing to him. You know, it's the same. It's
Talk like that. I gotta prepare myself to talk.
I mean, it's no different than if any of y'all who have children. You look at your children and you hope your children's desire is to do what? To seek to please you. You know, most of these kids that most of y'all have, their desire is to please their parents. Except for Lil Mike. He said, no, man. Now come over here to 1 Chronicles 16 and 5. You know what I'm saying? Lil Mike's aim to please. Say, don't do Lil Mike like that. Y'all just keep that in mind. We come back to Job in a minute. I'm trying to really explain something. He said you need to set apart them Kadesh hands, them set apart hand with no wrath and no doubt. We'll make it verse 7. He said, then on that day David delivered first this psalm to thank Yahuwah into the hand of Asaph and his brethren. Give thanks unto Yahuwah and call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him. Talk you of all his wondrous works. Because remember, ain't nobody did no works like him. That's what Exodus 15 and 11 said, right? He say, glory ye in his Kadesh name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahuwah. Seek Yahuwah and his strength. Seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he have done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Yasharal, his servant, ye children of Yaqub, his chosen ones. He is Yahuwah Elohim, his judgments are all in the earth. Be ye mindful always of his covenant. the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. We know Jeremiah 11:4 say, cursed be he that obey not the words of this covenant. You know what's supposed to, you know what happened to you when you're cursed, right? That means you're damned, ain't it? So y'all need to turn around and you need to look at that. But what we came here for, you see how he told you to seek his strength, his face continually. He said, if you will prepare thy heart to stretch out thy hands to me. Let's come back to Job 11:13 and finish it off. So y'all can really see what I'm talking about. What he said, to lift up those set apart hands without wrath and doubting, and to stretch out your hands towards him, and to prepare your heart towards him. Because this is not what some of y'all have done. You have not stretched out your hands toward this man, nor have you prepared your heart to seek him. I'm going to read verse 13 again. If thou wilt prepare thine heart and stretch out thy hands towards him, listen to what he tell you. If iniquity be in thy hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot. Yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear. Because thou shalt forget thy misery, and remember it as the waters that pass away. And thy age shall be clearer than the noonday, and thou shalt shine forth, and thou shalt be as the morning. Thou shalt be secure, because there is hope. Yea, thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety. And thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yea, many shall make suit unto thee. So again, I ask you, what do y'all think this could be referring to when he says, stretch out thy hands, prepare, if thou prepare thy heart to stretch out thy hands unto me? What do you brothers think this really could be referencing of what he's really speaking of? And this is Zophar the Naamathite speaking. This is one of Job's friends speaking. That's not a bad thing, because in essence it is about the promise. Hello? Shalom, how you doing? You know, in essence it is about the promise. That's not a bad answer. But I guess we're going to go ahead and get into detail about preparing our heart. Get your Telahim of Psalms chapter 40 and about verse 7. Hey, tis Lizzie. And it says, Psalms 40:7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It's written of me. I delight to do thy will, O my Elohim. Yea, thy law is within my heart. So, if he say he come in the volume of the book, see, you can get you John 18 and about 36. John 18 about 36. John 18 about verse 36. Oh boy, that was wild now. Say, Yahusha answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Yahudim. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? Yahusha answered, thou say that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause I came unto the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth, hear my voice. Now obviously remember, we looked at John chapter 1. John said that this was the Lamb of Elohim, which came to take away the sin of the world. We know Mashiach was slain from the foundation of the world, right? So that means he had to prepare his heart to do what? When he got up on that tree, what did he do? Was he not on that tree with his arms stretched out? Had he not prepared his heart and stretched out his hands to Yahuwah? Did he not get up there on that tree and cry out with set apart hands, with no wrath and no doubt? Did he not get up? Look at Luke 21. Well, let's look at John 19 real fast because we over here. Let's look at John 19 and 29. After we look at John chapter 19 and verse 29, make it 28. Well, then we'll look at Luke 21. Because he said to lift up these hands without wrath and doubting, right? So you know what that means with wrath? That means no anger, right? Y'all follow what I'm talking about? I'll take that as a yes. He said, after this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth. When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. He bowed his head and gave up the ruach. Ain't that something? So that means he's sitting up there, right? When he sit back and say he finished, that's sitting there saying that with no doubting. What would he be doubting? If it's finished, that means his work is finished. You already know what it say of him in Psalm 16, which Peter told these people in the 2nd chapter of the book of Acts. He say, I know that you will not suffer thy set apart one to see corruption, and that I shall be, my countenance shall see thy light. Luke 21. See, that was the hope he had. Woo! Burnt in mouth. Luke 21 and 33. Make it 32. Luke 21 and 32. Y'all follow what I'm talking about? Do you see how he prepared his heart and stretched forth his hands? This is what the man asked you to do. So then turn around. You know what Mashiach told us to do. Take up your affliction, take up your stake, and follow him. You got to be willing to go up there and prepare your heart and die just like he died. And stand up there as if you own a tree nailed to it. See, that's what a lot of people, they enemies of the cross of a Mashiach. See, we're going to look at that. A lot of people enemies are, you don't want to die. That's why you hate people who have died. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want to die. See, you don't want to do what that is. You don't realize is that when you sit back and you die with him, then that means his blood is covering you because you've been purchased with that blood. And now you done took with you the evidence because the blood of Mashiach is upon the doorpost of your house. If you follow what I'm talking about. Y'all follow what I'm talking about? Does that make any type of sense? Let me know if it don't make no sense now. That make any type of sense to y'all? I'll take that as a yes. He said there were 2 other malefactors led with him to be put to death. And when they were come to the place which is called Calvary, there they crucified him, and the malefactor, one on the right hand and the other on the left. Then said Yahushua, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. So don't you see that? Obviously, he got set apart hands, right? With no wrath and no doubting, right? Just like Paul said, didn't he? He said he prayed that all men have Kadosh hands without wrath and without doubting, didn't he? You think it's any wrath in his heart if he asking the Father to forgive the people who killing him? What you think? Ain't none there. Come on around here and look at verse 46. Make it 44. And it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour, and the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Yahushua had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. Having said thus, he gave up the ruach. So there he go again. No doubting. He's up there with no doubting, isn't it? Hands spread forth because he prepared his heart to seek Yah, because he knew the reward that he would receive for doing it. This is why I'm sitting back telling you, this taking you right back to that commandment that he gave in Deuteronomy chapter 6, isn't it? The commandments and the judgments and the statutes which I have given you, laid up these words in your heart. The only way you can lay these things up in your heart is if you prepare your heart to seek the man. Once you prepared your heart to seek the man, you wouldn't have no problem spreading forth these Kadosh hands without wrath and doubting, because you would look at the man who you serve. He did the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? Even when you see him say, Father, forgive him, he would be a mediator. How else could he be a mediator? Because he the high priest. Ain't that what he did? Don't you see him up there being a ransom for all? Don't you see him up there spreading forth these hands, making forth supplication? No wrath, no doubting. So now you got to turn around and ask yourself, are you preparing your heart and spreading forth your hands, which is to do this right here. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. You're going to have to be willing to perish, which is basically what I was talking to y'all about a little bit before we began. 1 Corinthians 1 and 21. For after that, this is the wisdom of Elohim. The world by wisdom knew not Elohim. It pleased Elohim by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. The only way you're going to be able to be saved is you're going to be able to have to hear the word. That's why you turn around like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, dude talking about Abraham. What did he do? You remember what they did? Remember what Noah and Abraham did? Remember they just woke up one day. You know what I'm saying? Troy, you ain't hear that there. Troy, you know what Abraham and Noah did one day? They just woke up one day and said, I shall be righteous. That's what they did. They said they ain't have to hear no word. They just woke up one day and say, I'll be righteous. But we know better than that, don't we, Troy?
I shall be righteous.
We know better than that. But then he heard what he just said. He said, by the foolishness of preaching, he will save them that believe. And how can you believe on him whom you have not heard? And how can you hear except without a preacher? Because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word of Elohim. That means somebody got to speak it to you. You know what I'm saying? For Abraham to be able to believe in Yahuwah, for him to be counted for him to righteousness, he had to have already heard of Yahuwah. For Noah to get up and build the ark on a command to do it, he already had to hear of him. So now we turn around and look at, we gonna see to be deemed as fools to these people in this earth. You know what I'm talking about? Remember we looked at something a long time ago where it says, as it happened to the fool, even so it happened to me. Y'all remember what that's about? You remember what that's about? Even as it happened to the fool, it happened to me. Any of you brothers on here know what that means? Even as it happened to a fool, it happened to me. I just read it too, whether you know it or not. Remember it said that a Mashiach was counted with the transgressors. You know what I'm talking about? And he was crucified just like them fools. To be a fool to me, you stupid. You know what I'm talking about? He was crucified with sinners. So as it happened to them, it happened to him. So remember that Paul say we become fools for Hamashiach's sake. You know what I'm talking about? So then we got to sit back and look at it. To the world, we're fools. You know what I'm saying? When the world turn around and look at us, something wrong with us, we crazy. Even when you look at the people of Mizraim, the people of Egypt, they thought we were crazy. Y'all want to do this here, man? We don't know who is y'all, all this here. You people crazy. We were crazy to them. Because you got to remember, matter of fact, you say he saved them by the foolishness of preaching, them that believe, right? Hold this right here. Come over here to Exodus chapter 4. Hold this 1 Corinthians chapter 1.
I shall be righteous.
That's what he said. I shall be righteous. I just wake up one day, I'm righteous. I don't know nothing about nothing. 4:27. Exodus 4:27. Thank y'all for the word. He says, and Yahuwah said to Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he went and he met him in the mount of Elohim and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words of Yahuwah who had sent him, and all the signs which he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yasharal. And Aaron spake all the words which Yahuwah had spoken unto Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that Yahuwah had visited the children of Yasharal, that he looked upon their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshipped. So when the people heard this here, you know, why you think them people would be willing to put that lamb's blood on the door if they hadn't already heard nothing and had no signs worked in their faces, even by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe? You know what I'm talking about? Because they had the word preached to them, that's why they went ahead and put that blood on the doorpost when he told them to do it. And what happened? They were saved, didn't they? Because they believed. Even in the law, you see that the other people just ain't just come up there and do that. Before Moses came and worked any sign before Pharaoh, boy, y'all had him, he gave the word to Moses. Moses gave the word to Aaron, and Aaron preached it to the people, and the people believed. And guess what Aaron wore? A high priest. And the people should seek the law at the priest's mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's the messenger of Yahuwah of hosts. Wow. Come on back to 1 Corinthians chapter 1. That makes sense for y'all. Verse 22. And look and sit back and look at it. What you see him work. What we just said that Aaron worked signs, right? We look at verse 22, look what it say. For the Yahudim require a sign. So not only did he come around there and preach the word to him, he worked signs for him too. Because you already know, Yahudim look for a sign. And the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach a Mashiach crucified, unto the Yahudim a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called, both Yahudim and Greek, Hamashiach the power of Elohim, and the wisdom of Elohim. You see what he said? He said, we preach a Mashiach crucified. We preach a Mashiach up on a tree with these hands, because you got to prepare your heart. That's why we read, seek the kingdom of Elohim first, and all these things will be added unto you. Hamashiach sought the kingdom first. That's why he was willing to spread forth his hands after seeking him, because he was willing to die. And you know that blood that came up out of his hands, and that blood that came up out of his feet, and that blood that came up out of his side was the evidence. You know what I'm talking about? Going back to what we already referenced, we done looked in the past, the blood on the doorpost symbolizing him being on the tree in Exodus chapter 12. And you need to sit back and look at, is the blood on your doorpost? Have you stretched forth your hands out? Let me think this here. Philippians chapter 3 it is. Is that what we need? I think that's what we need. Philippians 3 and about 17. He say, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk, so you have us for an ensample. For many walk, of whom I've told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are enemies of the cross of Hamashiach, whose end is destruction, who Elohim is their belly, whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. For our behavior is in Shamahim, from whence also we look for the Savior, Yahusha, Hamashiach. Listen what he say. Who shall change our vile body, that it might be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working, whereby he is even to subdue all things unto himself. Now, what did his body look like when he rose from the dead, sir?
Nobody.
He had a new body, didn't he? And if he had a new body, what did it do?
Probably shine.
Shine. Why? And why would it cause it? Did she just do it again?
Shine.
And what does wisdom cause your face to do? Shine. And we know wisdom is the fear of Elohim, right? So when we sit back and we look at this, right? The reason why I reference it, come back to Job chapter 11. Little stankums. Little pooty to tooty. Little pooty. Just walk around here and drop fart bombs on people. Thanks a lot, Tess.
Well, you know you stink when you ride with the window down and you still smell yourself.
Oh yeah, that happened to you today?
What? I was eating peanut butter last night. It came out today.
Oh, stank booty little boy. Look at verse 17. We're going to deal with verses 14 and 15 and 16. But right now I want you to look at verse 17. He say, thy age shall be clearer than the noonday. Thou shalt shine forth, thou shalt be as the morning. Well, we know what happens in the morning. Light comes. First Thessalonians chapter 5. See, some of y'all need to sit back and look at, and then get your Romans chapter 12 and about verse 13. You know, I thank y'all for the word. It's probably the most, it's the greatest, obviously 5 and 1. It's the greatest thing. Matter of fact, just make it 5 and 4. It's the greatest thing ever happened to me. Ain't no telling what I'd be doing without it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was talking to T the other day, right? See, some of y'all don't know some of the stuff, boy. I'm talking about with the word or without the word, that I done had the experience. And I know this here. I done dealt with some hard things, right? I know it's because I seen for myself. And I've been around men who was in worse positions than me. You know what I'm saying? See, some of y'all sit back and y'all look at stuff. You know what I'm saying? See, one thing about a struggle or going through something, it's going to show the metal and test the metal and the mental fortitude that a man possesses. You know what I'm talking about? Because some people can't take a little bit of nothing. And under the right situation and circumstances, you're going to fold up your tent. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, I done been like, boy, you're going to have to live on the street. You know what I'm talking about? See, some of y'all might not have been willing, and I'm dealing with the word at this time. I done slept on the street before. Not literally on the street, but in my car, outside, nowhere to live. That's real talk. I done had that happen. I ain't talking about for a day or two neither. You know what I'm talking about? See, y'all, some of y'all sit back and look at, boy, I don't know what I did under that. See, some of y'all women could have been like, boy, I got this vagina, I'm gonna go sell it. That's what you might have went and did. You know, men do the opposite. I'm finna get some drawers, I'm gonna go sell that. I wasn't thinking about selling no narcotics at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like I was talking to T this evening, and she was like, you know, I want you to just be able to relax. And I'm telling her, when a man money ain't where it want to be, he can't never relax.
What?
You know what I'm talking about? Never relax. You know, we might could have a good time, this, that, but I won't never be relaxed till my money where I want it at. See, that's the difference between a man and a woman. A woman could be broke and still be happy. She's not happy that she's broke. You know what I'm talking about? But, you know, she can chill and like this here. A man can't do that, especially if he got people depending on him. You know what I'm talking about? He'll never relax. He'll never relax. He like this here, boy. I need to make about another 2-3 strikes. Boy, I got this here I'm working on. This here I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? And your woman be like, you just need to relax. I'll relax when I get this money.
Seems like time just don't roll fast enough.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I relax. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way a man is. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing against y'all, but man can, if you got a man who can relax when he broke, you better find. You better find. If he can chill and relax and he ain't got no money, or his money ain't where it wanted to be, I ain't gonna say no money mean it's not where he wanted to be. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's somebody you might not want to deal with. That man might not be willing to do certain things for you that need to be done. You know what I'm saying? See, I know, boy, I watched my mama struggle. You know what I'm talking about? I watched that. I'm like, I ain't never want that for my wife or kids. You know what I'm saying? That's hard right there. See, some of y'all don't know. Some of y'all don't know nothing about, boy, I can remember 6 years old, my mama watching me eat because it wasn't enough food for the both of us. You know what I'm talking about? Then I remember turning around almost 10, 11 years later and doing the same thing with Lil Muffin, watching her eat because it wasn't enough for the both of us. So she got to get it. I got to go without. Some of y'all don't know about stuff like that. You ain't never experienced it. See, it ain't but one or two things gonna happen when you have an experience like that. You be like, well, I gotta get this money, or you quit. You quit on life. You know what I'm saying? I done been in situations hard, boy. Well, I know what it's like to go look for a job for 9 months straight. You done start selling dope, but all your money done ran out. I'm talking about you ain't got no food, and you looking for a job in 85-degree weather, ain't ate in 2-3 days, and ain't said a word to nobody. You know what I'm talking about? Don't nobody even know you ain't even ate. You know what I'm talking about? See, y'all niggas will be going through something, complaining and whining, and boy, we just like this here, you just gotta suck it up. You know what I'm talking about? Well, something gonna shake. If something don't shake, I'm finna go get a pistol and rob a nigga. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't even rob. That's how you go to thinking. When you get real broke, you start thinking crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you get real broke, boy, you start thinking crazy. I ain't tell you no lie now. You start thinking crazy. That's how my homeboy Shippy caught them 5 years. That's how he ended up dying in prison. That nigga told me, yeah, boy, this cracker got this dro, bro. We finna go rob him. Me and Chris don't even rob. We like, yeah, how much weed he got in there? When he went there explaining it, we like, you know what? We don't want nothing to do with that. I said, yeah, we broke, but boy, you snapped us right back into reality when you went to talking that story right there. You know what I'm talking about? But for real though, we looking like, boy, we only got a couple $100, a few rocks. We like, boy, this nigga talking about, you ain't completely out. You know what I'm talking about? But boy, you doing bad right now. He talking about this white boy got pounds of hydroponics in his house. All we think about it, boy, we right back there, boy. That's all we need, boy. We come up here, put that burn in their face, slap him with it one good time. Wow! Know if you got that weed in here, you got some money in here. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, we with it. That's what happens when you get broke, though. You start thinking crazy. See, I don't know if none of y'all done been that broke. You been that broke thinking crazy like that? Well, you get real, boy. You used to having a little bit of change in your pocket. Well, you start thinking crazy. See, I thank y'all for the word because it stopped me from thinking crazy like that. You know what I'm talking about? See, boy, I'm one of the type of people like, boy, I could be dealing with something and you'll never know it. You know what I'm talking about? So you'll be thinking, man, what's wrong with that nigga? It's like this here because I done been there. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with something, be stressed and you can see it all on your face. You know what I'm talking about? I learned then, look, it ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't really stress over that. All I can do is what I can control. You know what I'm talking about? If I stress over the parts that I can't control, it just make it worse on me. You know what I'm saying? So just let me focus on what I can control. And if I do what I can control, that's all that matters. What other people saying, what you all doing, it's irrelevant to me. You know what I'm talking about? See, I done been through that. Be out here looking for a job every day. Your people like, boy, he ain't doing nothing. So you gonna blame me because ain't nobody. What you want me to do? Walk in with a gun and say, yeah, just go ahead and put him on the payroll. Because I'm gonna start tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Don't no man don't like not having no money. If you got a man that don't like having some money, something wrong with him. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, if a nigga willing to risk his life in the penitentiary to sell crack, like getting up and then go to prison and work for free, boy, going to work ain't nothing. Well, we went to work, clean some toilets the other day. Dude talking about they doodle on the floor. I say, look here, boy, I got a woman depending on me. I don't care nothing about that. He said, we ain't cleaning it though. If that's what you want to do, I ain't mad at you. But if that's what got to be done to get this money, that's what's gonna be done though. You know what I'm talking about? Care nothing about all that. Then you know what he gonna add me. We go in there, it's doodle in the toilet. Come look at it. I said, I don't want to look at it. I just want you to see. He didn't want me to see what the people doing. I was like, bruh, I'm good. I don't want to look at my own fecal matter, much less somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you this here is, you can't never be, even when you relax, to a certain extent, you can end up becoming complacent. You know what I'm talking about? And when you get complacent, it's kind of like what Nas say, I never sleep, because sleep is the cousin of death. See, you get comfortable, you lose your hunger. You know what I'm talking about? When you lose your hunger, you lose your drive. When you lose your drive, it's over with. You know what I'm talking about? And when you talking about dealing with this word, you need to keep your drive. You need to keep your hunger. That's why he say, come back to your first love. I'm sorry. How should I say, come back to your first works. You understand what I'm telling you? See, when you first heard, you repented. You came in, you were gung-ho. But after a while, you got a little comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You was cool with, I feel you rested on your laurels. And in the process of doing that, you slip. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all several times, man. Don't never sit back and think, oh, I got over this, I overcame this, I got past this, and you ain't been tested yet. You know what I'm saying? See, it's real. That's the same way somebody in prison be like, boy, I ain't gonna smoke no crack when I get out. It's real easy for you to say you ain't gonna smoke no crack because ain't no crack in here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no crack in here, bro. So it's easy for you to say you ain't gonna smoke no rocks when you leave here. But the real test is when them rocks in your face. Then what you gonna do? And you know what they usually do? Go get the Choy Boy and the Rose. You know what Choy Boy is? Brillo. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. I'm telling you. I used to hear dudes in prison say that all the time. Boy, I ain't gonna do this here, boy. I ain't gonna do this here, boy. I ain't gonna do this here when I get out. Nigga get out, be like, yeah, boy, you seen Billy J? Yeah, that nigga around there smoking dope. Boy, you see that boy? I thought you wasn't gonna smoke, boy. Man, look here. That's the same way dudes say they ain't gonna sell no dope when they get out. But the test gonna come when you actually out. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. Ain't tell you no lie. I got sentenced June 16th, 2005. I can remember standing in Judge Lance Day courtroom as he talking. I remember Lil Muffin came up to speak on my behalf. All I remember Lil Muffin say is, don't send my brother to prison because that's my brother. Straight up, you know what I'm saying? That's what she came in there and told the people. Don't send my brother to prison because that's my brother. All I could think about when she said it, I was crying too. I ain't telling no lie. I ain't want Lil Muffin to see me like that. You know what I'm talking about? So what? Boy, that's hard right there. You know what I'm saying? I took care of that because I'm sitting back looking at the, also, you say big grown, boy, I'm looking at 3 years minimum mandatory to a life sentence. I don't know how long I'm finna be gone. State done asked for 12 years. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I had inside information that the judge said I wasn't going to get double digits. You know what I'm talking about? But at the same time, like, I don't trust these white folks, man. I don't know how much time these people finna give me, man. And it's my fault that my sister got to stand here in front of these Caucasians talking about don't send my brother to prison because he my brother while I'm shackled like an animal. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm standing in front of these people shackled up. The trial's already over with. So I ain't sitting in no street clothes. My sister's standing next to me in a green jumpsuit while I'm shackled up like an animal. You know what I'm saying? My mama sitting here got to see this here. My cousin in the bike. That when Cecil come in there saying what he saying, Naisha like she want to come up there and punch him in his mouth. Like you finna get him 1,000 years. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. When he was talking to me, 5 years came in my head. Matter of fact, even after our blue trial, I used to dudes say, what you gonna get? I'm like 3 to 5. They like, how you know? I say, man, I just know. Like, that's true story. You know what I'm saying? So when he talking, when she say this here and he talking, and I'm sitting back looking at it, you know what I'm saying? It came into my mind when he said them 5 years, and I went to count. I said, little Muffin gonna be 18 when I get out. She gonna be grown. She can take care of herself. I ain't selling no more rocks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really the only reason why I did it. I wasn't doing it for me, and I wasn't doing it for my mom. I was doing it to make sure my sister was straight. Make sure the rent was paid where she stayed at. Food was in the refrigerator. Whatever it is that she needed, it didn't matter how big or how small, I could get up and go buy that. It wasn't going to be no, I need to wait a day or wait a week. You know what I'm talking about? To go get that. You need what? I'll be back. You know what I'm talking about? Go cop that, bring it right on back, and there it is. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. Straight up. So when that man said D5, I said, well, I ain't selling no more crack, boy. That's over with. I meant that because I had it resigned in my mind that I wasn't finna do that. When I got to prison, but see, I'm gonna tell y'all something at the same time about how being broke, like I tell you, make you think crazy. Like boom, I'm dealing with it, I ain't gonna do it. But when I got out and I'm putting in all these applications every time somebody tell me to go somewhere, we going, they ain't called back. And the nigga was talking about, yeah, boy, you can sell some weed. Even in that state of what I said, what I wasn't gonna do, in the test though, I ain't fell it though. I'm like, shoot, boy, nigga can mess around, get some weed. I'm like, I ain't selling no crack. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, boy, sell some weed because you broke. You know what I'm talking about? And when you broke, you can go to thinking crazy. But when that situation arose about what you said you wasn't going to do, I sat back and I weighed this out. I'm a habitual felony offender in the state of Florida. If I catch any second-degree felony or better, second-degree felonies carry 15-year maximum sentence. They can double my sentence. You know what I'm saying? I get out here, I catch something, man, I go to prison for the next 20 to 30 years. I'm not finna do it. I'd rather sleep up under an underpass and be poor than to be poor in the chain gang. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, but that's what I'm sitting here telling you. You could be in a situation of what you say you not gonna do till you put in the position of being tried. You know what I'm saying? When you turn around and you look at even in Exodus chapter 20, you know, he said that the thunders and lightning was to prove you to whether you would sin or not. You know what I'm saying? To whether his fear would be before your face. See, you could be put in certain situations just to see what you gonna do. You gonna barbecue a mildew, and most of y'all mildew. Because you thought you was this, and then y'all ends up showing you to be a liar. Regardless if you had it in your mind that when you said that you thought that was the truth. He showed you that you were a liar. Because you said that you wouldn't do this, and you went and did it. There's no way around, there's no way to clean that up. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I didn't lie when I said it. Oh, you lied when you said it. You just didn't know it. You know what I'm talking about? So y'all got to remember that. 1 Thessalonians 5:4. He say, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. You are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of the darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. See, that hope of salvation is that belief of the word because it's in your mind. You know what I'm saying? That breastplate of faith because that's in your mind, it's in your heart. It resonates there. The breastplate of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And you need to sit back and you need to realize that. Because the way that some of y'all look at things and do things, man, look here, man. You could come with, boy, on Judgment Day, all them excuses, the crocodile tears, all that type of stuff. That man ain't trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? So while you got the opportunity to correct behavior, you know, you got to be willing to take your chastisement. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. No matter if it come from me, or any other preacher of y'all's word, the chastisement gonna be the same. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna be the same. There's no nice way to chastise somebody. You know what I'm talking about? You ever had a coach chastise you nicely? It doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? You know, during Tabernacles, we looked at that, right, about taking accountability for your actions. That is the hallmark of a man or a woman. You're gonna have to take that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to take that. When you could be able to see, my mama raised me like that way. You know what I'm saying? My mama raised me that way. My mama raised me that way. She say, son, you got to be able to accept the consequences, take responsibility for the consequences of your actions. You know what I'm talking about? You got to be able to take that. Well, I done told y'all before, I done had to take the consequences of actions that Lil Muffin did or my cousin did. And you know what I ain't do? I ain't say, well, Naisha did that or Kiana did that. I just went ahead and wore that. I stepped in them body though. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I got in trouble behind you, man. You know what I'm talking about? Cause I ain't gonna drop a dime on the nigga. I ain't gonna drop no dime on you. I ain't gonna tell on you. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm gonna come see you though. Let you know, man, you need to shoot me a couple dollars or something. Cook me something to eat or something. Straight up, man, my cousin did something one time, man, I wasn't even there and I got in trouble for it. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't tell what she did, who she had in the house, or none of that. You know what I'm talking about? Cause what good was that gonna do? I already knew that was gonna do with my mama. That was gonna make her hot. So not only did you not do this, but you telling to? You know what I'm talking about? Who? Boy, if I'd have snitched, boy, that'd have made it worse. You know what I'm talking about? That'd have made it worse. But I'm just saying, well, my mom and my auntie, how they did us, but you don't come tell me about what they did, but you gonna have to wear that there. If you told, but you probably were gonna get hit. I know what my mom was, she probably would have sworn. Chandra probably would have sat back and looked at you with disgust. This is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? You just don't snitch. You know, we raised that way. You don't snitch. My mama taught two things. She drilled two things in my head my entire youth. Accept the responsibility for the consequences of your actions, and the world does not revolve around you, and the world don't owe you nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Well, she really put them into two. Put that into one. That the world don't revolve around you, and the world don't owe you nothing. Yeah, you can say it three, but it's compound sentence, so that made it one. But I'm for real though. Because you know when you sit back, you know what she was really trying to express to me about the world don't revolve around you and don't owe you nothing, is for you not to be selfish. Think that people owe you something, and think that people obligated to do stuff, and this, that, there, and the third. That's why it's hard for me to even ask for no assistance. You know what I'm talking about? Because, boy, we just going to have to tough it out. Because that's what mama say. You know, if you ain't got it, you're just going to have to go without. You know what I'm talking about? But sometimes you got to humble yourself, be willing to, you know, go ahead and ask for help. At the same time, that don't meaning that I'm just going to take it just because you, like I had friends. I know if I asked them, they would do it. But just because I know you would do it don't mean I'm going to ask you. You know what I'm saying? See, some of y'all, if y'all knew somebody would do something, you were asking off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean just because you know somebody gonna do something, you asking. Well, I know bro, give me $20, I've asked him. So what if he know it? So what if you know he gonna do it? What that say about you? You feel like you can just go do that. I know my homeboy Booby Boy, if I was doing bad, I knew Fat Boy, if I was doing that bad and I asked him, I could get it. You know what I'm talking about? That don't mean that I would. They be alright. We get through a couple days, man. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't gonna be the end of the world. What you say, Bill? Yeah, it ain't the end of the world. You be alright. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Bill. Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be alright. I mean, because that's just how that's how I was raised. These are the principles that I was given. You know what I'm saying? I was telling T, man, you know, one of the biggest principles for me is loyalty. If you show any manner of loyalty to me, boy, you got a friend for life. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. You show you a disloyal, coward-made punk, boy, you get away from me. You know what I'm talking about? Romans chapter 12, out verse 12. That's real though. Make it 11. That's real though. Loyalty is a big thing. Loyalty is rare out here on these streets, man. It's very few loyal people. Some people will sell you out so good as the wind blow. You know what I'm saying? Changes when the season change, sell you out. You know what I'm saying? I done seen women, right? They say they love a man, they like this here, but they always, boy, nigga pull up in a better car, better rims, better outfit, and they think that's more. They out of there on that man. Disloyal, coward, punk. You know what I'm talking about? Like, straight up. See, a lot of y'all don't know, man. I don't know how some of y'all feel, Loyalty is number one. See, that's why I love T. T loyal. T gonna hold it down. You ain't gonna be able to say nothing about me and don't be true. Like I said, she ain't gonna lie for me. But say something that ain't true about me, boy. I bet she stand up, boy. She gets some straightening off the rip. And guess what? I'm gonna do the same for her. I bet she ain't gonna sit around me say something about T and I know you lying. See, I know T well enough to know. See, nobody couldn't come and tell me something that T did this or T did that, and it don't sound like T. And I'm just gonna go for it. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, dude. Like this here. Cause T gonna ride. That's why I mentioned certain other people. They gonna ride too. I appreciate them. You know what I'm talking about? Come through like the mob, boy. Make me think about when me and Fat Boy and Lank was in our younger days, boy. Can we come through like this here squad deep, 30, 40 deep? They like that. They go that man in them again. We coming through. Well, we just come through hard now. 20, 30, 40 deep. Like this here. Everybody walking. Nigga looking crazy. Nigga move the crowd. Nigga, just like they said, part them like the Red Sea. Nigga just move out of the way. Just move out of the way. We used to walk around like that. They wasn't even looking for no trouble. We just rolled that way. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you know, we getting old. We got older. It's still love with a lot of people. But, you know, as you get older, see, that's what something y'all didn't realize is. See, I told Fat Boy this when we was about 22. I was about 22. He probably about 20. I was like, you know, he remembered it too. I'm like, the man that you was cool with at 16, he might not be the same man at 21, 22. And all I really meant by that is attributes and characteristics that you might have ignored when you was 16. You kind of see them when they older, and you like, boy, they're not the same person when it really was the same person. These people hadn't already showed you this. You know what I'm talking about? See, it's a lot of stuff. Like I had homeboys, like I done told y'all numerous times before, on many different occasions. Boy, you can't lie to me but one time, and your credibility is in question with me from there on out. You know what I'm saying? I can remember when I was little, and I tell my mama, I lie to my mama, and I could be telling the truth. But because you done told a lie here and there, they not going to believe you. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to have to do a little bit more to persuade them. See, you don't want your credibility to ever get questioned. You don't want, and that ain't just with versus telling the truth or lying. That's with your loyalty. You know what I'm talking about? That's with how you carry and conduct yourself. You don't want your credibility to be questioned. Your credibility get questioned. What do you have left after that? Once your credibility is gone, what do you have left? You gotta sit back and look at it. If you do business, if you do bad business, your credibility as a business person is gone. How will you be able to make money after that? You know what I'm talking about? If your credibility is called into question, you got questionable business practices. You don't have to pay your employee. You do halfway work. You overcharge your customers and all this type of stuff. Now your credibility is coming into question. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know in Proverbs 27:1, he said a good name is above precious riches. But you got to protect that. See, I'm telling y'all something, man. We talked about it briefly last week. Dealing with this word is like hustling. It's like a business. And like Dame Dad said, you're supposed to be hustling for your last name and not your first. Well, in this instance, you know, Hebrews didn't have last names. You know what I'm saying? So you hustling for your name. The name that you actually hustling for is Yasharah, which is actually Yahusha. You know what I'm talking about? But you're supposed to protect your name. The only way you can protect your name is with your behavior. What y'all don't realize is when you do foul stuff, when you do inconsiderate stuff, when you ungrateful, when you inconsiderate, when you malicious, when you spiteful, when you mean, when you evil, when you don't pay attention, whether you intend to do it or not, whatever the case may be, it's going to call your name into question. And there's nothing that you can do about that. The only thing you can do about it is to correct it. You know what I'm talking about? That when people see that consistent pattern of behavior, to see that that is not actually indicative of your character. Because the only thing people can be able to judge you by is what you do. See, a lot of y'all think that people judge you by what people say about you. You know what I'm talking about? See, I'm going to tell you that you immature and you a rookie. That you ain't actually been living too long. You know what I'm talking about? Because people are actually looking at what you do. See, people can come say something to me about any one of y'all. That don't mean absolutely nothing to me unless what they saying is consistent with behavior that I've seen you exhibit. You know what I'm talking about? If I've seen you exhibit a pattern of behavior that goes along with what they talking about, I might could give it some credence. You know what I'm talking about? Because, boy, that sounds like something you'll do. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at your pattern of behavior, because it's like this here, right? I done tried to explain this to y'all before with Fat Boy and Langston and myself, because we were in the street. When you in the street, you observe everything. See, y'all can sit around people and y'all don't be watching. You know, we just showed this to Mouse a few weeks back, that you thinking that people don't know nothing when you don't realize your body language, your eyes, your facial expression, all this type of thing are keys to showing certain things without you even realizing you doing it. You know what I'm saying? See, y'all don't come for something, you watching people, because if you miss the wrong thing, it could cost you your life. You know what I'm saying? I done been around dudes where I'm like, boy, that nigga, they'll do something to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watch that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I gotta watch him. And he ain't said nothing, he ain't did nothing. It's just certain things somebody else might say it and how they respond. Somebody like, yeah, boy, I see you doing your thing. And you sit back and look at, well, I watch that nigga. Like Jadakiss said on the record one time, he said, if it's all love, daddy, why you come with your 9? You know what I'm saying? If it's all love, why you got your pistol, bro? You know what I'm saying? You giving me these pounds like you love me. I don't feel that love, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, brotherly love is sacred. That's a precious thing. You know what I'm saying? And you can feel when somebody really don't love you like that. You can look at certain stuff. You can sit around two groups, you could be in a group of people, you can see if one person like another. You know what I'm saying? If you really observe it, you can tell the two people done got freaky. We done been in the room with people, we came up with, be like, boy, they done got, it's just simple stuff you can see. Boy, they done had sex. You be like, how you know? Boy, I'm telling you they done had sex. It's keys. Y'all don't pay attention to stuff like that. This is why people are able to read certain things in your character and know certain stuff about you without you even doing nothing, because people observe. A lot of y'all don't observe. That's how you miss stuff. That's how you end up with a bullet in the back of your head too. That's actually 13 and 11 of Romans that I want, not 12. I got to get this wrapped up, get y'all on out of. Do y'all understand what I'm talking about though? I'm just trying to put you up on some things. I'm trying to really get you to understand something, man. I can just only speak it from the perspective of which I came up in. That's all I can do. He's saying that knowing the time, that it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day. Because you already know, y'all remember the song, right? Y'all know what song I got in my head when it pertained to the nighttime. What they say come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. That's why the reason why I say this here, because you see he say honestly as in the day. You know, people be shocked when you do certain crimes, and like if somebody, they shot him in broad daylight, because everybody can see you. See, most people do stuff they ain't got no business under the cloak of darkness. Why? Because nobody can see you. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's why we mentioned that there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed. See, a lot of y'all do stuff, you try to cover it, but y'all gonna show what you've been doing with your wicked self. You know what I'm talking about? That's why he say, those that hate the truth don't come to the light, lest their deeds should be reproved. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what people don't sit back and realize is, you got to sit back. Walking honestly mean doing right. So now he said, if you do these things to stretch forth your hands and prepare your heart, and if iniquity be in your hand, put it far from you. You don't sit back and realize when the Mashiach was on the tree, what did he become? He became sin. You know what I'm talking about? But when he died, he put it far from him, because he put off the body of this flesh and put on that glorious body, which is made by the elements of Shamahim, by the Ruach HaKodesh, the things that are eternal. And he became as the morning. Now we need to turn around and we need to look at as we need to become as the morning. We need to become the sons of light. We need to be just like Paul stated in Philippians 2:15, that we shine like lights in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, without rebuke, blameless and harmless. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't sit back and look at that. You don't actually strive to be blameless. You strive for people to want you to appear to be a particular way. Instead of, man, ain't nothing wrong with sitting back looking at, boy, I got frailties, I got issues, I ain't conquered them yet. See, when you can do that, they'll see people respect you more than high-capping like you there, but you not. You know what I'm talking about? Like you got it all together, but you don't. Because eventually you're going to get exposed for it. So then I put it this way. When you get exposed for it, if you done made yourself look like you got everything together, right? You the epitome of a set-apart lifestyle, male or female, right? You express that, you speak that, you say that, and then it gets shown that you did something contrary, then people looking at you like you a liar. Because everything that you said you stood for, you actually don't. And I don't think y'all seem to understand that. You are actually a liar. Because you actually not about what you talking about. And when you're not about what you talking about, it's going to make it hard for people to take you with some credibility. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be hard. If you want people to respect you and to hold you as being credible, then show it. Let your behavior be blamelessly. Let your behavior be harmless. That people can see your manner of life that's before them. Come and tell you something. You ain't got to sing it. It's going to show. It's going to show. You ain't got to tell people nothing. Okay, now listen. Let me read 13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and in envy. Put ye on the Master Yahushua HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. You're going to have to put that word in your heart. Y'all hear me? Let's look at this Job 11 one more time. We knock out Jeremiah 32. So we looked at that, 14, I just mentioned that there. See, now when you do all this here to put that stuff away, for then that you'll lift up your face without spot and be steadfast, thou forget thy misery, and remember it as waters that pass away. Come over here to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. See, that old stuff got to go away. I done told y'all this numerous times, and then you could go to Jeremiah 32 and 11 after this. I done told y'all this numerous times. If you don't put this stuff away, if you don't really get rid of it, it's going to come back. I mean, there's a venereal disease you can't get rid of. You know what it is? Besides AIDS. It's not deadly. It's herpes. Say you thought you got rid of that genital wart, he came back. You know what I'm saying? I use something that's not as disgusting. Like pimples. You thought you had them put on, your pads and all that type of stuff. Get your face clear. Next thing you know, there goes that blackhead. There goes that big old bump on your nose. You know what I'm talking about? I thought it was gone. It ain't gone. It ain't gone. Go ahead. Go.
Down towards.
Go ahead.
Facebook, he said that. Gentle towards.
What I'm saying is like sometimes you could it's something like, okay, you like with certain like with herpes, like it goes away for a period of time, but it's actually never gone because it ends up coming back. Like even with people who got it's like acne, if you actually take care of your skin properly and do the things that's necessary to have healthy skin, then guess what the acne don't do? It doesn't return. But when you halfway clean your face and halfway do things, that's the same way that some people do things, that they halfway deal with issues that they may have in their heart that's hindering them saving their soul, and they feel like it's gone because the pimple went away because you just did this little quick fix treatment, but after a period of time it comes back because you didn't do what was necessary to eliminate the problem, that it would never return. See, that's why he was saying to put on Yahushua HaMashiach, to make no provisions to fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because when you put the word on and you put the Son on, then these things will allow you to sit back and say, I won't fulfill the lust of my flesh, even if that desire arises, because I've taken the necessary steps to eliminate it. And if this does arise, I have the tools and capabilities to resist it, because I've laid the word up in my heart to where it wouldn't be something that would pull to me. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of people, they get old, not even old, and they continue to do the same things that they've done their whole life. You know what I'm saying? They was a young fool, now they a middle-aged fool, now they an old fool. You know what I'm talking about? I was in prison with a dude, they didn't call him old school. They called him old fool. And he used to answer to it too. You know what I'm saying? He was from Miami, but he was an ignorant old man. Just a dummy. You know what I'm talking about? And the thing that you don't want to realize is, you don't want to be doing the same stuff you've been doing all your life when you're 30. when you 35, when you 40. You know what I'm saying? If you don't sit back and you look at, okay, I got a problem with selfishness, I got a problem with lying, I got a problem being spiteful, or I got a problem with gossiping, I got a problem with lusting, you know what I'm saying? I got a problem with anger, I got a problem with my mouth, you know what I'm saying? And you know you done had these issues at 20. And now you're 25 and you still got them. And now you're 35 and you still got them. That means that's only because, okay then. That's only because they never actually dealt with the root cause and issue of the matter. And because you never dealt with the root cause and issue of the matter, it will always return. It'll always, it's just like weeds. If you don't get them and cut it off at the root, what happens? It comes back. Cut it off at the head, it won't come back. 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. Shane says you have no right. I just asked him, had you given up the word? You're going to tell me I don't have no right? I got a right to say whatever I want to say. Get mad at me because I asked you what you done quit serving y'all, but you wasn't serving him no way. Mad at me. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga been done told you something. You ain't going to like it. Therefore, if any man be in a Mashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So you have to sit back and look at it. If you're going to be in the word and you done put on the word and the word dwells in your heart, all things become new. You're not that same person anymore. You're seeking for a transformation. Just to keep it simple, what you call them things? A caterpillar to a butterfly. You know what I'm talking about? Become something new. Jeremiah 32. Got to become something new. Got to be. and 11. He said he did give up. So I was just asking. You know what I'm talking about? I want to know. I already know. I didn't want to hear from your mom.
That nigga was traded.
Yeah, he going hard. He said send a special shout out to Josh from ABT and that blank and blank who he's in a relationship with over the internet. Woo! Somebody mad. So when we look at verse 11, obviously we've seen the evidence of the purchase. So now we need to look at according to the law and the custom and that which is open. Shane going hard. You hear all that buzzing? Ephesians chapter 1. He could have just made that one whole paragraph or so. 1 and 11. Oh boy. He say, in whom also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestinated according to the purpose of him whom work all things after the counsel of his own will, that we should be the praise of his esteem, who first trusted in the Mashiach, whom also you trusted after you heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, and whom also after you had believed you were sealed with that Ruach HaKodesh of promise. So now we're saying that things that are sealed, that are closed, and those that are open. When you turn around and you look at it, 1 Timothy chapter 6. So when we look at the evidence of the purchase, the things that are sealed and the things that are open, that means the word dwelling in the inward man. Get you 1 Corinthians chapter 2 also on about verse 8, I want to say. 1 Timothy 6 and 13. I give thee charge in the sight of Elohim, who quicken all things before Yahushua HaMashiach. I'm sorry, verse 12. Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and professed a good profession before many witnesses. I give thee charge in the sight of Elohim, who quicken all things, and before Yahushua HaMashiach, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good profession. that thou keep this commandment without spot, unrebukable, to the appearing of our master, Yahushua HaMashiach. See, that's what I want you to say. That. Now, you see how you say the things that are open? Because the people that see you will actually see the lifestyle that you live in. You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, what that was, I was sitting there thinking about. It was in my mind. Before we looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 2, 1 Peter chapter 4. First Peter chapter 4 and about verse 12. You want to talk to him, we'll see if we can help him out. I knew Josh was gonna be there. He gonna try to blame it on Josh. Can't blame it on Josh, man. Say, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. It's like you seen Jeremiah was in the prison. He would be in that fiery trial of his he was gonna serve y'all like some strange thing happened to him. Remember, he was doing that in the court of the prison. Oh, y'all forgive me. He say, but rejoice inasmuch as you are partakers of a Mashiach suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. If you be reproached for the name of a Mashiach, blessed are ye, for the spirit of Allah and the spirit of glory and Elohim rest upon you. And on their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. Don't you sit back and you realize? Don't you sit back and you realize that when people see you, that you are a testimony against them? Matter of fact, before we read that there, man, Romans 8 and 1. Hold on, before we proceed, I'm going to read y'all what this man just sent me. This is wild. This man say, Josh is so lucky I don't know him in real life. I swear, Dwayne, dude, that man and his wife killed my faith. Man, I know where I'm going to go now, and I'm going to try my hardest to make sure they are there with me. I do not wish that fate on anyone except those two. Boy, he don't like them. Woo, woo. Boy, I don't wish hell on nobody. That's some hate right there. What y'all think about that right there? That's rough right there, ain't it? But see, you know what something though? You know what something is? See, I know the dude he talking about. He's a real douchebag. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just saying douchebag just to use douchebag. This dude's a real douchebag. You know what I'm saying? And he probably did kill this boy Faith. See, some of y'all some of y'all don't like rebuke and correction. And you'll act like that's the killing of your faith. Because y'all grew up soft. Y'all grew up with people kissing your behind. You grew up with people catering to you. You grew up with people telling you what you wanted to hear and playing games with you. And you just not really used to not having that. You know what I'm saying? That somebody really doesn't care if you're mad or you're upset or you don't like what's being said to you. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to have to suck it up and deal with it. But this dude,
That's I.
you know what I'm saying? Because this dude,
That's I.
how he done told me, I know because this man say that this man's wife is who put him out. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, ain't nowhere in the world TT could come in here and get rid of one of y'all. Oh, you're not welcome here anymore. Who you think you is? When you got that authority? After that scarred him. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know that, see, when you say somebody, you glad somebody don't know you in real life. That means if you had the chance to do something to them, you'll do something to them. It's like he gonna like to say, I'm gonna kill you, boy. Make sure you don't make it. Woo, y'all have mercy on their soul. Boy, what you gonna do? Romans 8 and 1. There is therefore now no condemnation of them which are in Yahushua HaMashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. For the law of the Ruach of life in Yahushua HaMashiach have made us free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do in that was weak, through the flesh, Elohim sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned the sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. Get your 1 John 3 before we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 2. 1 John 3 and 7. All this is saying is that which is sealed is that which is open with the purchase. That which is open is your behavior, which you show in front of many witnesses. Actually walking in the word, living a set apart and clean lifestyle, putting people to shame. That's going to be the evidence of the purchase. You got the evidence of the purchase that's sealed. You got the evidence of the purchase that's open. That which is sealed is the Ruach HaKodesh which is in you. We didn't even going to read all the places. But that's Romans 8. I mean, that's Hebrews 8. That's Jeremiah 31. The stuff that we read. He's saying this is the covenant that I will make with them. I will put my laws into their hearts and in their inward part. A Mashiach will dwell in you and you will dwell in him. He that eat my flesh and drink my blood, I will walk in him and he will walk in me. Abide in me and I in you. That's which is sealed. Can't nobody see that, right? You know what I'm talking about? But that which is open is that what they see. You know what I'm saying? And which is your behavior. So you need to sit back and look at that. If you're going to have the evidence of the purchase that a Mashiach's blood is upon the doorsteps of the doorpost of your soul, the doorpost of your tabernacle, then you need to have the evidence that is sealed and the evidence that is open. Because you ain't going to tell me that the evidence that is sealed is in you, but the evidence that is in the open is disgusting. That make any sense? I didn't think so. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that do righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that commits sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Elohim was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of Elohim do not commit sin, for his seed remain in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of Elohim. You see right there, you see that which is sealed and that which is opened on him. And this the children of Elohim are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever do not righteousness is not of Elohim, neither is he that love not his brother. You know, Paul made statement of that. Make sure that you know, we read this place about being unrebukable and blameless and just before Elohim. Like I told you, Paul said, you know what manner of men we were among you for Hamashiach's sake. You seen our lifestyle and our living and the way that we carried and conducted ourselves, that you would know that we don't do these things. You would be persuaded of that. You understand what I'm telling you? See, a lot of y'all don't sit back and you don't really look at that in that fashion. See, it's right here. You don't got to go get it. In 1 Thessalonians 5:5, he said, the power of our good news came not unto you in word only, but also in power in the Ruach HaKodesh, and much assurance that ye knew what manner of men we were among you for your sake. See, come back over here to 1 Corinthians chapter 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 about verse 8. We're going to wrap it up right here. You know what I'm saying? Don't y'all realize that, hold on. He said they deserve to be in the lake of fire for me losing my faith. He going hard with all these messages to him. Then he say, I can't even listen to any of the lessons unless I'm there in the room on Saturday, because they take them right down after they don't want me listening. I don't think they're thinking about you. I've been trying to tell Shane, man, leave them dudes alone, man. He ain't want to do it. All I can do is come talk, holler at me, man, before you been done committed suicide out here. Make it about 2 and 9. He said, but as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither entered into the heart of man, the things which Elohim have prepared for them that love him. Elohim have revealed unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit search all things, yea, the deep things of Elohim. For what know the things of man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so the things of Elohim know no man but the Spirit of Elohim. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of Elohim, that we might know the things that are freely given us of Elohim. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man wisdom teach, but which the Ruach HaKodesh teach, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receive not the things of the Spirit of Elohim, for they are foolishness unto him. You go ahead, Lamar. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judge all things, yet he himself is judged of no man, but who have known the mind of a Mashiach, that he may instruct him. But we have the mind of a Mashiach. To have the mind of a Mashiach is to have the word in your heart. To have the word in your heart is to have that which is sealed not being open. And then your behavior is that which is sealed, that of the purchase which is seen. So you need to sit back and you need to look at that. as forth as your behavior is concerned. If you're going to show the evidence of the purchase. The evidence of the purchase is to show that the word is in you and is manifested on how you carry and conduct yourself. Praise ye Yah for Yahushua HaMashiach and the word. Y'all understood all this stuff this evening?